Okay, and now we will briefly introduce ourselves. So my name is Stefan. I'm the lead for Google DSC McMaster chapter. I'm going into my fourth year of computer engineering and management, and as the GDSC lead or Google Developer Student Club lead for our chapter, my role will be to help to build the tech community here at Mac and to help provide a friendly environment for anyone that wants to get involved in tech. Also speaking tonight will be Aribas. Ariba was last year's GDSC lead for our chapter, and she actually helped build the club up from scratch. She did it all herself in 2020. Also with us tonight is Kyle Paul. He's one of our Google advisors. Kyle is a program manager of developer ecosystems at Google and spends his days making Google developer community programs better every day. Fun fact, Kyle actually started up a Google developer group in Kansas City and led it for nearly 6 years. And so we'll be talking about what Google developer groups actually are later in the presentation. We also have Harrison. He's one of our community and code leads. We have Kyle Thatcher, a different Kyle, who's one of our web dev team leads. And we also have Shashank, who is one of our workshops and talks leads. And so you'll be able to hear from 3 of our core team leads. And just to quickly talk about what we're going to be going over this session. First, we're going to go over what Google Developer Student Clubs actually is. Then Ariba is going to talk about her experience as a GDSC lead. Then Kyle Paul is going to talk about the Google Solutions Challenge as well as the Cloud Study Jams, which are really exciting programs. I'm going to talk a little bit about the team structure. Then you're going to be able to hear from our core team, so specifically our community and code workshops and talks and web dev leads. Then afterwards, we're going to talk about how you can get involved if you do want to be involved. And then we're going to have a Q&A section at the end. So again, if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat and we'll get to them in the Q&A session. Okay, so what is Google Developer Student Clubs? So Google Developer Student Clubs, or GDSC for short, is a global program for universities and colleges that's supported and powered by Google developers that helps students bridge the gap between theory and practice. So what does that actually mean practically? Well, Google DSCs run technical workshops, they run tech talks, panels, and so much more. And again, we're going to talk about this in future slides. Google developers have 4 community programs that they run. There's Google Developer Groups, which are similar to Google Developer Student Clubs, except they're for regions rather than universities. So as I mentioned earlier, Kyle started up Google Developer Groups in Kansas City, but there's also Google Developer Groups for Toronto. In fact, GDG Toronto is actually hosting an image processing cloud study jam on Saturday. So if you guys are interested in image processing, you can go check that out. There's Google Developer Experts, who are people that are recognized by Google as being an expert in a certain Google technology. And again, we're going to be talking about this later as well. There's Women Tech Makers, which provides a community for women in tech. And then there's us, Google Developer Student Clubs, which provide a community for developers and those who are interested in tech for college and university campuses. So what do we specifically do? Well, we run workshops and events in general that students want to see. So whether that's a workshop or an internship panel or a code night, this year we'll run technical workshops and anything that you guys want to see, whether that's quantum computing, machine learning and AI, web development, and other sort of technologies that are up in popularity. But we don't only run workshops in Google technology. Last year we ran a workshop in Linux. There were workshops in Git. We did a workshop in AR, VR, and so much more. And so these workshops are going to be hosted by our chapter and in collaboration with other universities across North America. And even you, if you would want to run a workshop, you can do that too. You can reach out to one of our workshops and talks leads and they can help to guide the process. But it makes it a lot easier if you're a general member already. It makes it really easy for you to reach out to these workshops and talks leads so that you can help to run a workshop. We also do tech talks as well, where we will bring in a Google developer expert to talk about a technology that they're an expert in, and just tell students a little bit about the technology that they love. And so that could be something like Google Circ, which is an open source quantum computing framework by Google. There's Angular for web development. There's Flutter for app development. There's TensorFlow, and so on. And we want to bring in these Google developer experts to talk about technologies that you guys want to hear about. And if you want to help to organize these workshops, you can definitely do that. And stay tuned for the Get Involved portion where we'll tell you how to do that. Also, we do panels like alumni panels where we bring in Mac alum to talk about job searching, advice, and so on. We do internship panels as well, where we bring in students who have been successful in their internship search to talk about their experiences, maybe give some advice and help other students out. We do code nights as well, where students can get together to solve LeetCode, easy, medium, and hard questions with each other, and we also provide mentorship. So Community and Code runs a lot more than just code nights. Harrison's going to talk about that a little bit more, but they also do an open source and a full stack challenge as well. There are cloud study jams that we run, and we're planning on doing one this year. Kyle Paul will be speaking about that a little bit more. There's also the Google Solutions Challenge, which is a really cool challenge that, again, Kyle will be speaking about. And again, we'll talk about how you can get involved more a little bit later. And so this year, everything will be online. So all of GDSC's events will be virtual, and that's great because you can attend events from really any DSC chapters across the world, but most specifically across North America. And so you'll see two links in the slide. The top link is the events platform where you can find any events that GDSCs are running across the world. So you can filter by, if you want to see an event that's about web development, if you want to filter by region, you can do that as well. And if you want to filter by school, you can check out our school, which is the second link, GDSC Community Dev McMaster University, where we post all of our upcoming events. And you can also see all of our past events. And also what's great is that if you miss a past event that you really wanted to attend, you can go over to our YouTube channel, which is the channel that you're watching this from, and look at all the recordings because we record all of our workshops. Okay, and now Ariba is going to talk a little bit about her experience as a Google Developer Student Club lead last year. So Ariba, take it away.
Okay. Hello guys, I'm Ariba and I was the DSC McMaster lead last year when we first started. I'll just talk about how we started and how last year was. So I first learned about DSC from social media posts from my friends in other universities who had a DSC chapter, and a lot of the times they would post about cool events like technical workshops and networking events, learning from Google engineers, and I wanted to bring this to McMaster. So last year I got together a core team, and with them we started DSC McMaster U, and our goal was to run a lot of events throughout the year that would help students learn different skills in tech and also get to network with each other. So I think last year we did a pretty good job, and we ran like a few events per month, ranging from technical workshops on how to use Git and GitHub, making your own personal portfolio website, tips and tricks on VS Code, how to use Linux, and an introduction to Google Cloud. So we ran a lot of technical workshops to teach skills that would be very useful for developers and anyone new to coding. And aside from these workshops, we also ran several panels with students with diverse experiences in their career. For example, we ran a panel showcasing a few students with unique co-op experiences to talk about how they got their co-op and how their co-op was and what they contributed in their co-op. So that was a panel that we ran. And then we also ran several game nights where we got to know each other and play some games. And all of these game nights were online, so anyone can participate. So overall, I had a really great time being with DSC last year, and I learned a lot from all of the technical workshops that we ran. And I also got to meet a lot of people around McMaster. So we got to meet a lot of people like within engineering, and there's a few people outside of engineering who wanted to join. So yeah, we got to meet a lot of people, and I also got to meet people from the larger Google DSC community across North America, because there are a lot of events and networking events where you get to meet people from other chapters, which is pretty cool. And then also DSC, Google DSC runs a lot of events on, like Google runs it, so we have access to like more developers that can come and present. And so basically, I'm just happy with what our club has accomplished throughout the year, and I'm looking forward to more exciting events this year. So yeah, I hope you consider this club as a club that you want to join, and I'll let Stefan continue the presentation.
Cool. Thanks, Ariba. And now we're going to move on to Cloud Study Jams. And Kyle, you can go ahead and teach us about Cloud Study Jams.
Awesome, thanks. And I'm glad you had such a great time, Ariba. With McMaster, that was one of our most active chapters last year. So very excited to see already being very proactive this year. So, high hopes for all of you. This is a great chapter to join. So happy to be here and speak. As mentioned, I am the regional lead for the Google Developer Student Clubs here at Google. So very happy wish I could be there in person to greet all of you. I do love coming to Canada. But as far as our Google Cloud Study Jams, this is a great campaign and learning opportunity that we've put together. As McMaster, you can run this multiple times. It's not just a one-time thing, but this gets you free access to Google Quick Labs. What is Google Quick Labs? Quick Labs is an online learning tool, kind of like Coursera, that allows you to use the Google Cloud platform without a credit card, where you can go test and learn how to use different features of Google Cloud and be tested on it. You can earn some cool badges, and then along the way, get closer towards your certification. A lot of the different topics in here are machine learning, data infrastructure, application development, all in the cloud. There's a bunch of different things that are in there. So regardless if there's only one thing that happens this year on Google Cloud Study Jam, the cool feature with it is if you take it through the GDSC here at McMaster and you complete a quest within it, you get a free 30-day access to any other labs within Quick Labs. So that gives you a full month access to learn all these other cool things that we have available to you. And it's completely free access through the GDSC. The other thing that I forgot to help Stefan put a slide together for is we also do Android Study Jams. So Android Study Jams is where you can come together to learn about Kotlin, how to build apps the modern Android development way, learn a lot more about Android 12, which is recently just launched. So there are other opportunities that you can do for a lot of hands-on free Google learning that we provide through the GDSC. And so this is like one of the huge perks by being a member of the GDSC is you get free access to all of this learning. And there's some swag and credits that we offer and stuff like that. So yeah, but you can only get that through joining the GDSC. And then up next is the Solution Challenge. Solution Challenge is a annual campaign annual challenge that we run through the GDSCs, and this is a global challenge. It's not just North America, it's not just within McMaster. And so what you can do is with the Solution Challenge, I have the link there if you want to learn more. There's also this little video, but essentially the Solution Challenge is we come up with a problem for you to solve, and you have so many months to work on it. And it's a project, and it could be an Android app, a Flutter app, it could be a website, could be a machine learning project, could be something built on GCP. The key thing is it just has to use Google technology in it. And with all of that put together, you create a team to solve for a problem. This year was the United Nations sustainability goals. And so there's 17 of them. And so you had to pick one of the 17, and it could apply to multiple. But that was kind of the challenge, was build an app that was directed towards one of the 17 sustainability goals. And we saw a lot of great different ones. And once you've submitted, the cool thing is let me back up a little bit. So with the teams, there can be as many teams as we want from McMaster. But the thing is, there can only be 4 people per team. So, and you can only be on one team. So if you're, so I can only, Stefan and I can only be on the, one team, or he could be on a separate team and I can be on a separate team, but you don't have to be on a team with any of the leads or the co-leads. The thing is, to be on a team, you have to be a member of the GDSC. And at least one member on the team has to be a member of the GDSC to work on the project, to submit on behalf of the school. And then when you submit on behalf of the school, you're going up against schools from all over the globe competing against each other for the best adaptation of the solution, the best use of Google technology for the solution. And there's a bunch of different criteria. If you follow the link there on the slide, we list out all of this year's criteria. There might be some changes next year. We won't know yet, but generally this is the criteria that we look for on any project that is submitted. And essentially, it's really fun to put together a project. We've seen a lot of great submissions, and if you have any further questions, you can redirect them to me or Stefan and team. They have all the materials at hand, and when we'll likely announce about mid-January, I think, is when we're going to announce this school year's challenge. But in the meantime, you can start forming teams, start working on projects that are, fit this criteria as far as what Google technologies it uses, what how you've designed it. So you're welcome to start on it already, but just how you apply the technology and what the problem you're actually trying to solve might be different come January. Along with this, there are many other opportunities through the GDSC to work on other community-focused projects. The key thing that I always give out there to everybody is to be wary of the Facebook clause. And what do I mean by that? If any of you remember or have seen the movie about Facebook, when Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook, he started it on his university computer using university assets and stuff like that. So it depends on what your school allows and stuff like that, to where the school took partial ownership of Facebook. And so he had to buy them out. And so be careful if you're planning to do anything, take this idea and run it into a startup or anything like that. Make sure how you're using university resources and your university accounts and stuff like that. So it's just something to be aware of. Google does not take ownership of any of your stuff as part of this challenge. All we ask is that if you win, we can, celebrate you. So, but yeah, Google does not take any ownership of anything that you develop in this challenge. But it is very exciting. Through the Solution Challenge, we issue a lot of Google Cloud credit. We issue a lot of mentorship and training around building large-scale projects, working on teams, that program management, project management, all kinds of interesting stuff that we do through the Solution Challenge. So if you want real-world hands-on projects, not just the theoretical stuff that you typically do in your CS classes, participating in the Solution Challenge is a real-world project that you're working on together to solve a real problem. So that's one thing that a lot of students get a lot out of, is working together on projects like this. So, and with that, if you have any questions about this at all, feel free to direct them to the team, or I can't see the chat from where I'm at, but I'm very excited to see what McMaster comes up with this year. And thank you for having me. Enjoy.
Thanks, Kyle. And if you are interested in participating in the Solutions Challenge, we will be facilitating groups, and we'll be helping you guys out with that sometime soon. It's essentially like, you get to build a project, except it's not like a hackathon project where it has to be over a weekend. You get to really think this out. So it's a really great opportunity. Again, if you join the Discord and join as a member, you will be able to hear updates from us, so then you can actually get involved in the Google Solutions Challenge. Okay, and now I'm going to be talking about kind of like how you can join GDSC McMaster U. We have 6 sub-teams that you can join. Admin doesn't have any member positions open. So if you'd like to learn about the specific teams, you can click the apply here link in the chat. I believe it's going to be in the chat. You can click the apply here, and it's going to bring you to a Google Docs where you can see all of the member positions that we have open. There's also going to be a role descriptions as well, where you can click on that and see all of the in-depth descriptions of all the roles that you can apply to. So give that a read. If anything appeals to you, make sure you apply. Again, you don't have to have any experience if we're going to be talking about that in the future. But yeah, also, if you want to check out our website has a general member application big blue box where you can click on that. It's going to bring you to the same Google form where it shows you all of the member positions that we have open and also all of the role descriptions. So at GDSC McMaster U, our general members actually do have roles and responsibilities. It's not just a general member title. I know that the title general member might be a little bit misleading, but it's not just a general member where you have no responsibility. Members do have roles and responsibilities, so you are a part of the team if you are a part of a sub team. If you're a general member, you are a part of DSC. And so this time around, we're not recruiting for executives. We recruit for executives in March. So if you are interested in being a part of the core team or the exec team, look out in March and you can apply around then. But being a member first really helps your chances. The majority of the people who were members who applied to become a part of the exec team got into the exec team. So being a member really, really ups your chances because that means we know you, we know how you work, we know your motivation, we know how passionate you are, and so on. But this time around, we're only going to be recruiting for members. So to apply, again, you can click the link in the chat that says apply here. And if you're interested, you can see more about the specific teams, not about the roles, but about the teams on the wiki. So it's the tiny URL GDSC McMaster U wiki. Just to quickly go over what each team does, actually kind of like, there are technical and non-technical roles that we offer as member positions. An example of one of the technical roles might be a web developer, where the web dev team actually works in a real web dev environment. They use agile methodology and they use some really awesome technologies that Kyle's going to be talking about. Another technical role might be a part of the community code team where you're designing coding challenges. And we also have non-technical roles as well. There's the external relations team where if you're interested in sponsorship and growing yourself, growing your soft skills, you can definitely join the external relations team. There is the event planner role where you can help to plan events. I know before I talked about bringing in a Google developer expert to talk about a technology that they like. Well, these event planners are going to be the ones who actually reach out to the Google developer experts and bring them in to McMaster to talk about this technology. And so if you're interested in doing that, you can apply to the workshops and talks team. But again, the core team is going to be talking about that in a sec. And by in a sec, I mean right now. Shashank is going to talk about the workshops and talks team, why you should join, and the kinds of responsibilities that general members have a part of the workshops and talks team. So I'll hand it off to you, Shashank.
Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, so hi everyone. My name is Shashank. I'm one of 4 workshops and talks co-leads for this year. Some of you might have remembered me from last year. I was also a workshops and talks co-lead last year as well. But yeah, it's really exciting to see so many of you here joining us live. With that, I can get started on what workshops and talks team is all about and how you can apply to be a bigger part of our team. So Workshops and Talks team really focuses on organizing a bunch of technical and social workshops that cater towards the interests of you as an individual as well as the McMaster chapter as a whole. So what I mean by this is throughout the year, we're always trying to organize events that we think that everyone would be interested in, or as a general member, you can come up to us and say, hey, like I'm interested in learning about GitHub and how I can get started as a beginner coder. And we'd be happy to organize something for you. And I'm sure if you have an idea, there are plenty of other people who also want to learn about that same topic. So a reason that we think like a lot of you might be interested in joining the Workshops and Talks team is it gives you an opportunity to work with like-minded peers. Since we're a more technical club, you know that you're always going to be surrounded by people who have an interest in technology, whether it be Flutter, Visual Studio Code, or GitHub that's on my screen right now. And it also gives you a chance to build your professional network by reaching out to previous co-op students to discuss their experience, or reaching out to potential recruiters for events and other such like opportunities. We have two types of positions in our general application. The first one being a content coordinator. As a content coordinator, you're more likely responsible for actually planning out the workshop itself and planning out what exactly the workshop will entail during the event, and making sure the entire progress of the workshop flows smoothly. The second position is a logistics coordinator. So the logistics coordinator is basically the backbone of the entire team. They're responsible for reaching out to the marketing team, making sure all the marketing posts are completed. They're also responsible for ensuring that the actual workshop itself is smooth, and ensuring that the stream is live, because all events this year are online. So those are the two positions. Feel free to reach out to me or any of the other three workshops and talks co-lead if you have more questions about them. And again, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that you don't have to be specifically a workshops and talks team member, but everyone in GDSC or outside of GDSC is welcome to let us know of any ideas that you want to learn, and we'll try to try our best to make sure that an event is there for you. But yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Cool, thanks, Shashank. And now we're going to move on to the web dev team. So Kyle, you can take it away.
Hi, I'm Kyle Thatcher. I am one of the two web developer leads. So we're a small sub team of web developers, and we design and maintain our team website. So if you join the team, what can we offer? Well, the web dev team is an excellent place where you can go to gain experience working with an agile team of developers, and also work with modern web technologies. So you can see here some of the technologies we use in our web stack: Firebase, React, Gatsby, Tailwind, GitHub Actions, and lots of other things. So if you're looking to learn some of these technologies, or even an expert in one or a few of them, then I highly recommend applying, because I think you could be a great asset to the team, and it's a great environment to learn as well. And I know a lot of us as students, we kind of maybe have lots of experience working on individual and personal projects, but this is a great opportunity if you haven't had one yet to kind of work as a team and work with other, work with your peers. So if you're interested in that, this is a great place to do that as well. So in terms of responsibilities, if you join the team, you'll primarily focus on developing features, squashing bugs, performing code reviews of your fellow team members, and participating in our regular Kanban meetings, and also potentially mentoring others and helping them along their development journey. So our team is an environment that welcomes a lot of new ideas. So if you have any big ideas for our website or any other web project that you think would benefit the chapter, definitely consider joining, because we definitely like to welcome new ideas and kind of brainstorm new things and kind of just try out new technologies. So if you want to join the web dev team, like I said, we're kind of a smaller team. Last year we had, I think, 6 people, and we're looking for, again, 5 or 6 people. So if you don't get on the team, but you still want to get involved in developing and working on some of our projects, don't worry, because all of our projects are going to be internally sourced within the chapter. So by just being a general member in any other team, will give you access to our repositories, and you'll be able to submit issues or feature requests or pull requests, or you'll be able to interact with our development team and help developing the projects and get involved that way. So don't worry if you don't end up on the team, because you can still get involved, and you can message me through our Discord, and I can give you access to the repositories. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So thanks for your time, and I hope to see you in the chapter.
Perfect. Thanks, Kyle. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about the community and code team. So Harrison, you can take it away.
All right, thanks, Stefan. Yeah, so in community and code, we mainly focus on increasing the programming skills of the McMaster student body as a whole, and that does not depend on which faculty you come from. You don't need to come from Eng, you don't need to come from business, you don't need to come from any specific faculty. We will welcome you with open arms. And to do this, we have three main teams within our community and code team, and I'll get to explaining those. So we have code nights, open source events, and management. Each team has their own needs, and each team has their own lead leading the team. However, we do have some co-op between the three teams, and they all run their own events. So Code Nights, you heard Stefan talk about a little earlier. That's mainly a weekly event, and sometimes bi-weekly, as in 2 times per week. And that's going to be either a workshop at some times, or a challenge, such as a full stack event, which we ran last year, or it will be that LEET code practice session with some first year practice sessions as well included in there. The open source team, they run projects that are meant for the McMaster community, but anybody can provide. So anybody can contribute to these projects in an open source fashion. So if there's bugs, you can report / fix those bugs. And during the events, what we do is we open the floor up to anybody, and we mainly compile and release new versions of each project. So currently we're working on 2 things, and those things are an open source social media housing app, and a open source lightweight server to be run on a Raspberry Pi or dedicated computer that will help us run all of our other GDSC McMaster projects as well from open source. And then management is mainly going to be keeping up with management software for the other 2 teams, as well as contributing to their events as well. And now on the next slide, I'm going to show you some positions that we have open on each team. So each team has a certain amount of designers and organizers. Now, designers are mainly the content creators for the events and the actual programmers. So you'll see the designers making the general code base for open source, or creating the boilerplate for full stack events in either React, Angular, Flutter, anything that we want. And they create basically the content around which the themes are produced. And then the organizers actually conceptualize those events. So the organizers give tasks in an agile manner to the designers, who then work on those tasks to help create our event content. So if you want to create, if you want to be a community and code team member, you have to apply to be one of these 2 positions. And based on your strengths, we will assign you to one of the 3 teams, essentially. So I'll go ahead and post that link in the chat right after I'm done. And yeah, thanks for listening.
Well, thanks, Harrison. Okay, so how you can get involved, finally. So the first thing that you can do is sign up for our mailing list. This will keep you updated with all of the happenings within GDSC McMaster U. And so the link is right there, tiny URL, GDSC McMaster U mail, and that'll allow you to sign up for our mailing list. Also, you can apply to become a general member. The link is in the chat. Here's the link as well. The deadline for application is September 26th at midnight. And so if you are interested in any of the positions, so if you click on the link, you'll see any of the member positions that are open. You can read all the role descriptions in the link that's also provided in the link that you can click, which is this shortened link in the middle. Then you can read about all of the member positions that are open, how what kinds of responsibilities that you'll have, and what you can gain from being that specific type of member. Also, you can join the Discord. Again, the Discord link should be in the chat as well. If you scroll up a bit, or it might be being posted again right now. And lastly, you can apply to become a core team member. That is not happening right now, but you can stay tuned in March. We're going to be releasing applications around March to become a core team member. Again, as I said before, if you are a general member beforehand and then you apply to become a core team member, it definitely ups your chances, because then we know who you are, what kind of work ethic you have, and so on. And so again, if you are interested in becoming a core team member, core team is our way of saying exec, then you can stay tuned in March. And again, you'll see updates on the Discord, on our website, and on the mailing list. Just to remind you. Okay, frequently asked questions time. So one question that we get a lot is, what is the time commitment? Really, as a sub-team member, as a general member, it's completely dependent on your role. So web developers might have a different time commitment than members of the outreach team, for example. So I can give a general range of anywhere from like 1 hour per week to 5 hours per week, typically. And that obviously changes for core team members who have a much greater time commitment. But typically you'll have 1 meeting per week with your team, or maybe 1 meeting every other week with your team. And if you are part of a team that requires a little bit more of your time, make it up to 5 hours. Again, this is kind of just a range. It can go higher, it can go lower. You get what you put in, so take with that what you will. Another question, do I need prior experience in a club to join? So part of the GDSC mission, the Google DSC mission, is to help people get involved in tech and software development. So no prior experience is required to get involved. We look for passion, for motivation, for true willingness to learn about tech and to help out in the tech community, and also just in software development in general. So passion and motivation and work ethic are like the biggest things. Prior experience is not nearly as big of an issue. So you can definitely join without any prior experience. Another frequently asked question is, do I need to be good at coding to join? And again, the answer is no. GDSC's mission is to help students bridge the gap between theory and practice. So whether you want to become a member, or if you want to participate in code nights or open source, or eventually become a part of the core team, we have a variety of skill levels at GDSC, ranging from beginner to expert. So everyone's welcome. Again, that's whether you're participating, if you want to become a member, core team member as well. And I think that's about it. So here are some links. Again, I think these links were posted in the chat. If you have any questions at this time, you can post them in the chat and we will get to them.
I see a question from Matthew W. right now. For community and code organizer, do you need to know how to code for it and like code well? Actually, for an organizer, you don't necessarily need to know how to code at all. It's to be a designer, you need to know how to program. At least, or you might need to know how to program. At least to a very, very basic degree. So no, you do not need to know how to code well to be a designer. It's mainly meant for you to learn. So if you come in with very little to no experience, we should be able to help you.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Oh. For Matthew?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were repeating the question.
No.
Okay. So I see a question, do we need lots of previous experience to become a member? I think I referenced that. Jayesh, if you don't feel like my answer was satisfactory, you can ask another question that'll kind of probe me a little bit more. Do we have to apply to become a member? No, you definitely don't have to become a member. Obviously, we've talked about the benefits to becoming a member, but if you just want to attend, workshops, and attend code nights and things like that, you don't need to become a member. You can just attend these events. What you can do is be a part of the Discord and join the mailing list, and you'll be able to keep up to date with everything that's going on. So you won't miss a code night, you won't miss a workshop, and so on. How much time commitment is required for someone in the web dev team? Kyle, do you think you can answer that?
Yeah, sure. So last year we had a pretty flexible schedule because obviously people have midterms, exams, and everything. But so it's not like a hard commitment, like you need to have this amount of hours. Like it's not a job, right? But I think probably on average last year it was around 4 to 6 hours a week. People dedicated, and we were pretty happy with what we were able to get done. So probably around that mark, but There's definitely opportunities to do more than that if you want, but we do have a weekly meeting, which is mandatory, and those go from half an hour to an hour, and then usually you'll have some sort of tasks or deliverables from that. So we kind of judge it more based on productivity than just like straight hours. But if you wanted a number, it's probably around 4 to 6 average-ish.
Cool. See some. Rejoin as a general member and apply for a special position at a later time. What do you mean by special position? General members actually do have roles. So when you do apply to become a member, a general member, you're actually applying for a specific position. If you mean a special position as in the exec team, the core team, then yes, you can definitely join as a general member and then apply to be a part of the core team in March. Also, applications for general members will be closing on September 26th, as mentioned, but applications will also be opening again in January. So if you feel like the semester is really heavy for you, you can always apply again in January. Although it's definitely recommended that you apply as soon as possible. The time commitment isn't that high.
Just to reiterate my answer to Safwan Khan, yes, we do use Python in our tech stacks, mainly in the community code and open source and Code Night teams. So if you'd like to use Python and grow in your Python skill set, you can definitely apply to be a community code member. And if you'd like more information about community and code, we are hosting an information session next week on Monday from 6:30 p.m. till 7 o'clock p.m. So yeah, come on by and you can learn more about growing your programming skill sets.
Okay, I think it's about time to announce who won the $25 Amazon gift card. And so when I say your name, you can go ahead and type in the chat to make sure that you're actually here. And when you confirm, then we will be sending you an email with the gift card. So the person who won is Felix Fong. So Felix, if you're here, you can type in the chat and we'll be sending you an email with the details. Felix, if you're here, make sure you type in the chat or else we're gonna have to pick somebody else if you're not here. Felix Fong. So Felix, if you're Felix Fong, are you here? Sending you an email with Hey, Felix. Oh, you're here. Nice. Hey, Felix. All right. So, we will be emailing you a link to the Amazon gift card. So watch out for your email and yeah, congrats. Good luck, man. Oh, I think you're a little bit delayed, but I do see your messages. So. Just watch out for your email, and we'll be sending you the details. Good job, Felix. All right. If are there any questions? Is there any co-op opportunity for the winter? If you're talking about within the club, we don't offer co-op opportunities. If you mean as general member positions, yes, there are general member positions open in the winter. If you're talking generally, not even DSC, but just are there co-op opportunities in the winter? Yes, there are. I know many people who have gotten co-ops in the winter. I'm not sure exactly what you were asking. If you were a member last year, do you have to reply? Yes. We are completely scrapping last year's member system. So if you were a general member last year, you will have to reapply for a specific role this year. But that's something that you can talk about in the application. You can talk about how you were a member last year. If Are there any more questions? Any questions at all? We have 10 more minutes.
There's another one.
Does the web dev team accept beginners in web development?
Yeah, I can answer that. So for the team itself, for the applications, we do tend to look at people who are have at least some experience with web development. But if you feel like you're like a beginner or just starting out, or like, you can definitely get involved with the web dev team. Like I said, all our repository is internally sourced, so you can do, if you're not on the web dev team but you're in the chapter, you can do anything someone on the web dev team could do. It's just that the web dev team we're the dedicated maintainers for the repositories. So each member will have an expected commitment to the project. But if you are in a different team, you can still help out. You can attend our meetings. You can help out, and you'll be able to submit pull requests and help develop features and fix bugs. And that would actually be a great way, if you are a beginner, to actually kind of dip your toe in the water and kind of get a bit of experience. And where the team will be here to kind of mentor and help you and teach you kind of things that if you're interested, right? So if you are a beginner, you can still, if you know nothing as well, you can still help out, and we're still welcome. You're still welcome to participate.
Cool. I see a question here. Can you expand more on what a general member does? If you click the link to apply, Harrison, would you be able to post the link one more time? If you click the link to apply, you'll see a link on the Google form that says role descriptions, and you can click on that link and it gives you an in-depth view of what each role does. So a general member isn't a general member. I know we call it a general member, but it's more of a role that actually has a responsibility, and you can see that link right there, link to apply for member. It's going to take you to a Google form. You can click on role descriptions, and it takes you to another page where it gives you all of the roles that we offer here at DSC McMaster U, and then you can read what each role does. If you have any questions about a specific role, you can definitely ask. How often were workshops being held again? So workshops actually are held quite often. Oh, Harrison, you got that?
I can answer that quickly.
Yeah,
In terms
sure.
of workshops, I think Harrison already commented about Community and Code. It's going to be held bi-weekly starting October. But for workshops, in terms of like the workshops and talks team, the general club workshops itself, we plan on having at least one workshop per month. Preferably, we're going to also have 2 to 3 workshops per bi-weekly as well. But last year, I can comment that we had over 40 workshops in the course of the 8 months. So we're aiming to beat that number as well, which would mean about 2 to 3 workshops per month. So that's what you can expect.
Yeah. So Fiavi, I see the question. Harrison just answered, but yeah, if you change your mind, you can always switch up later. You're not kind of like confined to that one role for the entire year.
Yeah, I just want to expand on that. Also, if it helps you make up your mind, just think of designer, you'll definitely be programming more, and organizer, you'll be conceptualizing, thinking of event ideas and organizing events and networking more. So if that helps you make up your mind, then I'm glad.
Is there a way to list tier of preference so that if you don't get your first choice, you can get your second choice? You can actually submit more than one application. You will only get one member position. If you do get them, you can't be a general member in 2 different roles in 2 different teams, or even in the same team. But you can submit more than one application, definitely. I heard Felix was stacking gift cards this week. That's nice. Good job, Felix. Any last questions? We have 5 minutes left. If you don't feel comfortable asking your question in the public chat, that's a-okay. You'll see our email. You'll see our email on the screen right now, and you can send us an email. If you don't remember a question and you remember it later on, again, send us an email. It's in the description of this YouTube video as well as on the screen, and we'll get to it as soon as possible. Also, if you follow us on our social medias, we post updates as well, and you can also message our social medias as well to ask any questions that you have. It's probably better to email us directly though, if you have any questions that you remember afterwards. Any last questions? And if you guys have any ideas, any sort of workshops or Google developer experts, these people who are experts in a certain technology, if you have any people that you want to have come in, or any technologies that you're really interested in, again, feel free to let us know. You can talk in our Discord, let us know that you want to see a workshop on TensorFlow. You can tell us that you want to see an alumni panel where Mac alum come in and talk. We'll prioritize those, not prioritize, but we'll put it in a queue. So we will make sure that we run these workshops as best as we can. So if you're really interested in web development, we can definitely hook up a workshop for web development, and also maybe even bring in a Google developer expert to talk about web dev or Angular. So yeah, you can do that in Discord. You can let us know on the social media, send us an email. You can DM any of the leads on Discord. Really anything, and we'll get that information to the right person. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming out. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you learned a lot. Again, we're going to be posting the recording to this info session in the Discord, so make sure to check that out. If you missed anything, or if you want to go back and check something out. And yeah. Oh wow, I just realized my lighting's really bad.